So you're stuck in a creative rut and you don't know how to get out of it. Here's a couple of ideas for you to get around this issue. And actually the third one might actually surprise you. I'd like to start this video with a simple thing. What I'm about to tell you is the way it functions for me. Might not be the way it functions for you, but this is how I see things, and this is my ways of trying to circumvent blackouts, creativity blackouts. I rarely have them because I more or less follow the rules that I established a few years ago for myself. So I know this by heart. So it's very, very rare that I don't have the energy not to go out and shoot images. But let's start with a video. It's very simple. Surround yourself, this is my first advice. Surround yourself by hobbies. Don't do just photography, do something else. For instance, I adore radios, but I adore certain specific radios, not just any radio. And I very often buy them in second hand, and then I put them to work. Very, very easily, you can put an old radio back to work. And it doesn't cost that much. I mean, you can buy old radios like the Siemens RG radios for 20-30 euros. And you can bring these old units back to life. I like so much radios that I have in this room only. I have one radio underneath this table. I have another radio over there, Siemens RG, so I can hear my football. I have another radio over there just to listen to heavy metal, and I'm going to put another radio on that table just for classical music. So, and you can surround yourself with this kind of, small hobbies and stuff. And like that, your creativity will never stop. It might not just be for photography, but one hobby will help the other one. Believe me, it's very, very nice for you when you're listening to music and you're editing your photos with really nice background music. Have other hobbies. Don't do just photography. Think outside the box and grab, I don't know, gardening. Oh, wait. Pause the video right there. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about, interacting hobbies. This little female, I just rescued her yesterday night. She was a latecomer and her name is Cookie. So the story behind Cookie is this. She was gifted to somebody when she was 6 months old. Then that person kept her in a kennel outside the house with any discipline whatsoever until she was 18 months old. Then the person decided that she didn't want the dog anymore. So she gave it to a family. That family on the same day gave it to another one, and then that final family reached us and we went to pick her up yesterday. So you see, how can one hobby interact with the other one? Because I will have to use photography so I can promote Cookie for adoption. And do gardening along with photography. Don't be just stuck. And that's my first advice to you. So it's not much to do with photography, but it's not to let your creativity down. I mean, you can be very creative while gardening. You can be very creative while, doing this kind of household thingies. Just don't slumber on the sofa. One thing you need to know about photography is that photography goes well with other things. You can do gardening and photography at the same time. You can do house decorations and photography at the same time. One does not quit the other one. So I would strongly advise you to get several hobbies and don't let photography die on you. Don't abandon your DSLR to a corner. Go dog walking with your camera and your dogs. Go do jogging with a small action camera and take photographs with your small action camera or with your, I don't know, whatever, your mobile phone, and just take it. do it. I mean, don't stop. And my second advice to you, now this one is directly concerning photography. If you are a digital shooter, grab an analog camera, grab a cheap analog camera. I don't know, a Kodak Retina, maybe if you like medium format or you want to try medium format, go for the Holga and go out and shoot. Just go to well, first of all, get the camera. Go to these kind of online marketplaces or go to a physical market and buy an old camera. If you don't know how to load an old camera, ask your father. He probably knows. Ask your father and he will help you, or somebody else will help you to load the camera and try analog photography. This if you're a digital photography. If you are already an analog photography, there's one thing that you can do. Pick up a camera that is not in your ballpark. Like, for instance, this one. You grab one of these ones, an old Rolleiflex or a Rolleicord or a Mamiya. Pick up, if you're feeling down, if you don't feel creative, pick up a camera that you're not used to. Put the roll in it and shoot. And shoot your table. Shoot your wife, your kids. Well, not shoot, with one of these ones, not with something that you can kill them. Get out of that rut that you are, pick up something different and go out and shoot. If you're used to medium format and the small format, the 135, pick up an old camera, old wooden camera. Go to a thrift shop or go to eBay and buy a Cambo for €150 and do it and get out and go. Doing the same thing every so often that you get really, really bored. So if you're a digital shooter, go for an analog camera. If you're already in analog cameras, move upwards in terms of size. So if you're used to 135, go to 120. If you're used to 120, go to 4x5s. If you're used to 4x5s, go to 8x10s. Move. I mean, it's not that difficult. Just, force yourself. And my third advice to you, it's also rather simple, but it's very counterintuitive. Pick up the wrong gear. Pick up the bad gear and the wrong gear if you can. Here's why. It's very, very simple. If you use the wrong gear, you are forced to think and to find creative solutions for the problem that you have. For instance, if you go out to do street photography and go with a 200 millimeters, or you go out with a wide angle with a fisheye to do street photography, or for instance, you pick up a Nikon. And I'll put the image of a Nikon here so you know what it is. A Nikon is a camera for underwater diving. These are very cheap on eBay and they cost like €100, €200. And you buy a Nikon and you go street photography with the underwater camera. It's that simple. For instance, you know that I do 4x5s. And I really like large format photography. So I bought this 135 lenses. This is from an Agfa and this is from a Voigtlander. I'm going to drill a hole and I'm going to use them on 4x5 cameras. Really, really small lenses. And this will force me to think. I'll show you, for instance, I did this several times already and I'll show you here the results, and they're quite out of the box and they force me to think and to reevaluate everything that I'm used to do. It would be easier to go there with a 4x5 and photograph the thing, but on several cases you'll just get with the same image as anyone else. So if you use the wrong material, the bad material, you get something completely different which forces you to rethink everything. And if you're rethinking, you're being creative. You're doing something that no one else is doing. And that's it. Simple, but I mean, so there you go. You see what I mean? I just put this in there with the help of these little guys. And I'm going to use this on my large format, this being a 135 format, so the image is going to be very, very small. This is actually my, creativity popping up and say, hey, you can use this, you can do an image with this kind of situation and this kind of items. So yeah, let's go for it. Let's take advantage of what it can be given. And this now leads me to advice number 4. And I script this down while I was yesterday taking coffee, because I had quite a few ideas and it's easier for me to write them down immediately. So, do a project and set limits to that project. For instance, shoot black and white for 1 month. This is fairly simple. On other channels, people have advised you already to do this. This will teach you how to see in black and white, which is completely different from color. Second project that you might follow. Shoot street photography for a year, day by day. I don't know if you know my work, but I more or less followed this, but in a longer period, because I started a project called Lisbon 2015-2030, which consists on shooting Lisbon each and every day, at least one image, either in digital or in analog cameras. For me, even by my mobile phone counts. So I've been shooting Lisbon each and every day, non-stop, since 2015. Even when we were in lockdown, and even when I was with COVID, I took images while I was stuck in my own room. I was shooting my feet, literally shooting my feet, not to stop this project. So each and every day I'm taking an image of Lisbon, and I have a huge amount of images of Lisbon in my hard drives. Oh, and by the way, you're seeing images from a project that I had a few years ago, which I'm going sooner or later to restart again, which was during the weekends I would go out at night and I would photograph abandoned megalithic monuments at night. And I did it for several years. It was really, really fun to do, and I'm eager to continue to do it again. Although I have still 2 projects ongoing, which is Lisbon 2015-2030, and I will stop at 2030, of course. And the other one is each and every weekend I'm going out in the morning of Sunday and I'm photographing on that morning of Sunday. So it's 2 projects that I have, and sooner or later I'll have the third one, which is, to restart this one again that I did for 4 or 5 years. Another idea is shoot for 1 week just in f11. And you can see that even at f11 you can shoot at night, and this will teach you to think differently from what other people tell you, because normally people tell you to shoot, for instance, at night at the widest aperture, and sometimes that's not what you want. So for 1 week, shoot just f11, that being morning, midday, afternoon, or at night, f11, and find alternatives to be able to shoot at f11. That's the idea behind it. Find alternatives to the problems. Another idea, emulate 20 famous photographs. But emulate them, this doesn't mean don't copy them, exactly as they were. Translate those photographs to your own culture. For instance, if you see the image of the Victory Day, the V-Day, the kiss on V-Day, the very famous photograph, I'll just put it over there so you can see. Take that idea, emulate that photo, but bring it to your own culture and bring it to today. And actually, if you decide to do this, do me a favor. I will put on the link in the description my email address, And I'm actually very curious, if you decide to follow this specific one, this specific advice that I'm giving you, so you can get into touch with me and send me the photographs so I can see them, because this is very, very, very curious. So pick up 20 images and bring them up to date and according to your own culture. So for instance, that image that I've been talking about, the V-Day kiss. It's going to be different if you are somebody from Angola and you live in the middle of Africa from somebody that lives in Sweden. So, and I'm very eager to know this. So send it to me. I will put my email here as well. And just send, just say, "Hey Paulo, it's blah, 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 and I followed your advice. So here is the results." Another thing. Turn the lens around and shoot, in order to tell a story, objects that are dear or related to you. What do I mean with this? Remove the lens and shoot it like this. You're going to see that you are able to focus. Well, if you look it through here, you're going to be able to focus by moving the lens around and photograph the objects dear to you. And yes, these can be your nikkors if those are dear to you. I mean, you decide. And photograph them throughout the day. I mean, just throughout the day, you remove the lens, turn it around, and you photograph your objects dear to you. It can be a sculpture, can be a person, and can be, I don't know, a glove, my glove for the negatives. That's it. If you are a film user, load the film inverted and shoot that roll of inverted film. What do I mean with inverted film? Let me have this. So the film, normally it's like this. You have the back part of the film and then you have the emulsion side here. And normally the camera is shooting and the image is going to be recorded here. What I'll advise you to do is you load the film backwards. So you're going to shoot here. The image is going to pass through the transparency into the chemical part here. And you're going to see that they're going to come out very, very differently and very, very strange. The way to load this is you pick up a film, you put some scotch tape here, and then you roll one into the other one. So like this, you can do it. And so you're going to shoot the film completely inverted. Instead of, using this part here, which is normally what you should do, you're using this part and you're shooting the image through the transparency. Try it. It's really completely different. And each film has a different transparency and each film will give you a different look. So go for it. I mean, try. It's very, very easy. It's just there and it seems easy to do. So now comes the fifth advice, which is collaborate with other creatives. So this means enroll yourself in groups on, just, social media groups, but don't enroll yourself in those kind of general groups like, amateur photography or this kind of, digital photography groups that appear in social media. Go for a specific group like 4x5s, street photography, and then focus your energy in those kind of groups and exchange views with these kind of creatives. Don't be a general photographer. General photographers are going nowhere. As a matter of fact, no one introduces themselves as being a general, jack of all trades photographer. This isn't a thing. Don't do it. Focus your energy in one thing, in one project, in one style, and then if you want, you can change it afterwards. That's not an issue. But just go for a very focused, specific thing. So for instance, enroll yourself in a TLR group in social media, in WhatsApp, or create a group for TLRs. and then focus your attention on it, how to shoot a TLR, how to shoot on street photography a TLR, this kind of, very specific thing, and not in a broad sense. And especially don't go to those groups where people try lots of film at the same time, and they are always, finding new stock of film. Because you will never get used to it, and they will never teach you something new to you. These are very generalistic groups, which in the very beginning they might be of some help, but then the help just kind of disappears. So don't go for a group that is going for the trying now fomapan, and then they're going to try Kodak, and then they're going to try Fujifilm films. And then you're going to try this camera, and then you're going to try that camera. Don't go for that. Don't go for the group of, amateur photography 101 or something like this. Don't go for this. Don't fall for these small things. And that is all. I hope you liked my 5 advices to you to get out of Creative Rut. Like I said, if you decide to do that project of 20 images, emulating 20 images, here's my email address again. And you can send me the results of this emulation that you're going to do or that you've done already. So share it with me. I hope you liked the video as much as I like doing this kind of content. And I'll see you soon, or as we say in Portuguese, até a próxima.